Okay everyone, we're just going to go ahead and make a video here on how to remove a front sway bar to a 63, 63.5, and 64 Galaxie. Okay, there's no procedures on this thing. There's very little information on the internet. I've heard anything from you can't do it without the engine and the transmission removed, which is baloney. You know, everybody seems to have their own procedure. I even saw one guy that says, oh, I can get it out in 15 minutes. Sure, yeah, be my guest. Anyway, so thought I'd give you guys an actual procedure to do this. Now, bearing in mind, mine is a big block car, factory 4-speed, stone stock, it's got power steering, and there's no modifications. I'm going to go ahead and leave the comments open, but please don't put any comments about what modifications I need to do, what I should do, whatever like that. I'm an ASA master. That certificate and $6 will get me a cup of coffee at $6. So I'm always about the procedures, and it torqued me that this didn't have any procedures. So let's start from the basics, okay? So I didn't do this at my shop. I thought I'd do it at home in my garage, where most of you would probably be doing it. Obviously, this would be much better on a lift, but I'm not there. So anyway, so to start off with, jack stands, good heavy duty ones. I'm putting them underneath the frame, okay? And I always put the wheels behind, just in case something happens. You don't get totally crushed. But have good quality jack stands, by the way, okay? Anyway, both wheels off. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, to the driver's, okay? All right, then, next important step, I'm giving you kind of a procedure because this is not what I followed. It took me about an hour and a half to kind of put a procedure together here. Go ahead and remove the metal splash pan that's underneath the generator. Mine has a generator. I don't have an alternator. My generator charges just fine, and I'm not interested in changing it. So anyway, 2 bolts hold that shield right there, and then there's one on the front of the frame up here. So you can wiggle that shield out. The sway bar kind of gets in the way, but you can get the shield out. And then the generator just comes right out. Pretty easy. 2 bolts are accessed from the top, easier. And be careful of those wires. And the boot on the back of the generator. This is for you guys who have a restored car. If you have a generator, you can figure it out. But you're going to need to remove that for sure. Anyway, you'll notice that I still have the lower radiator hose and the oil filter in place. Did not have to remove those. So, put a block of wood underneath the snout of the crankshaft. With the jack, take the nuts off of the motor mounts. Okay, right here on each side. And gently raise the engine up, gently, and then I put about a 1/2-inch block on either side. So set that down gently. I did not have to raise the transmission as some people have said. Anyway, go ahead and take your sway bar links off, and then the sway bar mount, by the way, when you put the new sway bar in, you're going to get a U-shaped sway bar mount. You will not be able to use those. You have to use the original factory sway bar mounts, because see how that sway bar is ahead of the mounting bolts. That is not a hole right there, that's a dimple. You're not going to be able to drill a hole and do that. There's just way too much gusseting going on there and everything like that. So you got to use those factory mounts again. You may have to open them up a little bit, you know, if your bracket is that, I mean, excuse me, if your bushing is too big. Anyway, next step. Remember, you got your wheels steered to the left, and go ahead and take your backing plate off. I still run drums. I'm not interested in putting discs on, guys. Don't leave a comment. This is a restoration. So anyway, the backing plate is held on by a bolt up here from the back side. Super easy to get out. And then 2 bolts down here. By the way, that upper bolt was not as tight as I would have liked. So I want to go ahead and check the other side too when you put it all back together again. Things loosen up after all these years. Anyway, so engine up. This is missing. You know, it's all removed now. All of a sudden, the sway bar just twisted itself right on out with the bushings still on there. Didn't have to cut them off. And so, don't have the new sway bar yet. Misordered and ended up getting a Falcon sway bar. So I ordered the right one, and that'll be coming. But I imagine it's going to be in. Just a little bit of a hint, the sway bar does like to come out a little easier if it's dropped down in here. And yes, I'm going to be tying those together with the bar kit. That's coming also. My car, by the way, never did exhibit the weird steering and diving characteristics that a lot of people say that they do. But I'm going to go ahead and put that bar in there that ties to the front sway bar, or to the front controller mounts there. just in case. So we'll see how that drives. And we're looking forward to putting that 1-inch sway bar in. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps. I'm a procedure guy, like I said. I wanted a procedure. Man, it frustrated me that nobody had actually done it. They just said, hey, I put a sway bar in my car, and they didn't show how. So that's how, and I hope it helps.